Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. Imagine a coin that seems like it belongs to the ordinary world of pocket change, easily tossed into your purse or left forgotten at the bottom of a drawer. But what if that small, shiny dime was actually a rare treasure worth far more than its nominal value? This is the case with the 1982 USA 1 dime coin, a coin that, at first glance, might appear to be nothing special, but in the world of numismatics, it's a prized collector's item that has captured the attention of coin enthusiasts for decades. Some have even paid as much as $123,000 for this seemingly modest dime. How did this particular coin rise to such astronomical value? Stick with me as we unravel the story of the 1982 dime, examining its historical context, design, minting details, and the error that made it worth a small fortune. To understand the significance of the 1982 dime, we need to first take a step back and look at the time when it was minted, the year 1982. The early 1980s were a turbulent period in American history. The economy was in a state of flux, with high inflation, rising unemployment rates, and interest rates that seemed to have no end. The world was also feeling the ripple effects of geopolitical tensions, as the Cold War continued to cast a shadow over global affairs. But amidst the global uncertainties, life in the United States marched forward, and the U.S. Mint was still cranking out coins to meet the demands of a growing population and economy. It was during this time that the 1982 1 dime coin was produced. The dime, a 10-cent piece, had been in circulation for nearly a century by 1982. Its design, created by the renowned sculptor John R. Sinek, featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who had passed away in 1945. Roosevelt's likeness had appeared on the dime since 1946, just a year after his death, and was meant to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse side of the dime featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. This design, with its clean lines and dignified portrayal of Roosevelt, became one of the most enduring and recognizable symbols of American coinage. However, the 1982 dime stands out in numismatic history because of a rare and unexpected error that occurred during its minting. Before we dive into that error, it's important to understand how the U.S. Mint produced dimes during this time and why the circumstances of the 1982 coin's production were ripe for the occurrence of such an error. By the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was already dealing with challenges related to the cost of raw materials, specifically the metal content of coins. The increasing prices of silver and copper were putting pressure on the mint to find ways to keep production costs down while still maintaining the integrity of U.S. coinage. In 1982, the mint made the decision to begin changing the composition of certain coins to reflect these economic realities. While the most noticeable changes to coin compositions happened with larger denominations, the 1982 dime was also affected by this shift. In this case, the mint decided to experiment with new alloys, using a combination of copper and nickel, to reduce the cost of producing each coin. This shift in composition was not widely known to the public at the time, but it would eventually play a crucial role in the story of the 1982 dime's unique value. But what truly set the 1982 dime apart was an error in the minting process that happened in a small batch of coins produced by the Philadelphia Mint. A mistake that occurred during the striking process led to the creation of a small group of 1982 dimes that were produced with an incorrect metal composition. These coins were mistakenly struck with a higher content of copper than was originally intended for that year's dimes. While the U.S. Mint was experimenting with alloy mixtures during this period, these particular coins, with their unexpected composition, became the stuff of numismatic legend. The mix-up wasn't immediately apparent, and most people assumed the dimes were just like any other. But collectors began to notice something unusual about the weight and appearance of certain 1982 dimes. These coins, with their copper-heavy composition, exhibited subtle differences when compared to the standard nickel-copper dimes that had been produced in massive numbers. The unexpected copper content gave these dimes a distinct color and a slightly different heft, an imperfection that many coin collectors instantly recognized as a minting error. To the trained eye, the 1982 copper-dominant dime was no ordinary coin. It was a unique and rare piece of history. The rarity of the 1982 copper-dominant dime is what makes it so valuable to collectors. While millions of dimes were struck that year with the intended alloy mixture, only a small number of these dimes with the copper-heavy composition exist. And because these coins were struck with an error, they are regarded as a special find in the numismatic world. As the years went by, word spread among collectors about the existence of these error dimes, and soon they became highly sought after, especially by those looking to complete sets of error coins. As the demand for these error dimes increased, their value began to rise. What was once a mere curiosity among collectors soon became a valuable commodity. At first, these dimes were only worth a modest premium over face value, perhaps a few dollars more for a coin that was a bit rarer than the others. But as more collectors and dealers began to recognize the rarity of the copper-heavy 1982 dimes, their value skyrocketed. Some collectors were willing to pay hundreds, even thousands of dollars for a single coin. The excitement around these error coins only grew as they began to appear at numismatic auctions, where they attracted the attention of serious collectors who were eager to add them to their portfolios. So, how much is a 1982 copper-dominant dime worth today? Depending on its condition, these rare coins can sell for anywhere from several $1,000s to upwards of $123,000. That's right, $123,000 for a dime that originally was only worth 10 cents. The value of these coins depends on a variety of factors, including the condition of the coin, the extent of the minting error, and the overall rarity of the coin in the market. Coins that are well preserved, with minimal wear and tear, fetch the highest prices at auction, while coins in poorer condition still retain significant value, thanks to their rarity and historical importance. The appeal of the 1982 copper-dominant dime lies not just in its error, but in its place in American history. The U.S. Mint's experimentation with alloys during this period was a response to rising metal costs, and the coins produced during this transitional time have become an essential part of the story of American coinage. For collectors, owning a 1982 copper-dominant dime is not just about having a rare coin, it's about owning a piece of American history and being part of a small, exclusive group of people who have discovered this hidden treasure. For those interested in finding these rare 1982 dimes, it's important to know what to look for. The most obvious indicator of a copper-heavy dime is its color. These dimes may appear darker or more reddish-brown than standard dimes due to their copper content. Additionally, the weight of the coin may be slightly different from other dimes produced in the same year. While most 1982 dimes weigh around 2.27 grams, the copper-heavy dimes tend to weigh a little more due to the additional copper content. However, the most accurate way to confirm if you have a genuine 1982 copper-dominant dime is to have it professionally examined by a coin grading expert. If you think you've stumbled upon a 1982 copper-dominant dime, don't rush to sell it just yet. Get it authenticated by a professional numismatist to determine its authenticity and value. A well-preserved 1982 copper-heavy dime could be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and rarity. As we've seen today, sometimes the most unassuming objects, like a humble dime, can hold incredible value. What seemed like an ordinary coin minted in 1982 turned out to be a rare and valuable collectible that's now worth far more than its face value. The 1982 copper-dominant dime is a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin collecting and serves as a reminder that even the most common items can become extraordinary treasures with the passage of time. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of the 1982 USA 1-dime coin. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone who's simply fascinated by the stories that coins can tell, I hope this video has inspired you to take a closer look at the coins you own, and perhaps to search your own collection or pocket change for hidden treasures. After all, you never know what might be worth more than you think. In the second place, we will talk about the 2005 USA 1 dime coin, a coin that, at first glance, may seem like just another piece of pocket change, but for those with a keen eye and an appreciation for numismatic history, it holds a treasure trove of stories, details, and, of course, a jaw-dropping value. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 2005 dime so special? After all, dimes have been in circulation for well over a century, and there are countless variations from each year that collectors focus on. However, as is often the case in the world of coin collecting, there's one key ingredient that turns an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after rarity: a minting error. The 2005 dime, while not inherently rare, became a valuable coin due to an error that took place in its production, and this small mistake has led it to become a coveted piece for collectors across the globe. To truly appreciate the story of the 2005 dime, let's first set the stage by looking back at the year 2005 and understanding the broader historical and economic context. The early 2000s were a time of significant change for the United States. The country had just emerged from the devastating effects of the September 11th attacks in 2001, and the world was still grappling with the aftermath. Domestically, the economy had begun to recover, with a focus on high-tech industries and the rapid expansion of the housing market. The U.S. military was involved in ongoing conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the country was still adjusting to the new political landscape. In the midst of these changes, the U.S. Mint was producing coins to keep up with the growing demand for currency. While many coins from this period would come and go without attracting much attention, the 2005 dime would become one of the most talked about coins in recent memory, thanks to a small, yet impactful, mistake. The design of the 2005 dime was nothing new at first. The coin was part of the ongoing series that had featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, ever since 1946. The design, created by John R. Sinnock, portrayed Roosevelt's face in profile, surrounded by the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, the design featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. This classic design had become iconic over the years, making the dime one of the most recognizable coins in the world. But the 2005 coin also marked an important milestone in U.S. coinage, as it was part of the series of state quarters that were released throughout the early 2000s. The state quarter program, launched in 1999, was one of the most successful and popular coin series in American history. By 2005, the program was well into its later years, with new state designs being minted each year. However, despite the focus on the quarters, the dime still remained a key piece of American currency, produced alongside the quarters and other coins that kept the U.S. economy running smoothly. While the 2005 dime was produced in large quantities to meet the needs of the American public, one batch of these dimes ended up being particularly unique. This batch, produced at the Denver Mint, contained a minting error that would turn the coins into an incredibly rare find. In the world of coin collecting, errors like this are what drive demand and create value. The error in question was a double strike that occurred during the minting process. A double strike happens when a coin is struck by the press more than once, causing the design to appear doubled. This can result in overlapping or misaligned images, and the end result is a coin that looks noticeably different from the intended design. In the case of the 2005 dime, the double strike caused Roosevelt's portrait to appear doubled, making the coin easily identifiable as an error. The double strike was not immediately apparent to the public, and most of the 2005 dimes produced at the Denver Mint were sent into circulation without any issues. However, eagle-eyed collectors quickly began to notice the strange appearance of some of the coins, and soon enough, it became clear that the double strike error had affected a small portion of the production. As soon as word spread about the error, collectors began to eagerly search for these rare dimes. Some would find them in their pocket change, while others would purchase rolls of dimes from banks in hopes of uncovering one of these elusive coins. The double strike dimes, with their unique and unusual appearance, became a hot commodity in the world of coin collecting. Prices for these error coins began to rise rapidly, and soon they were being auctioned off for thousands of dollars, but the real value of the 2005 double strike dime came with a particular discovery. One of these coins had been preserved in pristine condition, graded by professional numismatists as MS-68, mint state 68. This exceptional coin, with its perfect or near-perfect strike, would go on to sell for an astonishing $98,000 at auction. The rarity, the unique nature of the error, and the impeccable condition of the coin all contributed to its record-breaking price. The 2005 double strike dime is a prime example of how a small mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and valuable treasure. While the vast majority of 2005 dimes are worth only 10 cents, those few with the double strike error are worth thousands of times that amount. The 2005 dime is a perfect case study in the unpredictable world of coin collecting, where even the smallest variations and errors can lead to huge financial rewards for those lucky enough to find them. If you're wondering how to tell if you've got one of these rare 2005 double strike dimes, it's not too difficult to spot. The key feature to look for is the doubled image of Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse. The doubling may not be immediately obvious, but a close inspection will reveal that Roosevelt's face is duplicated in a way that's clearly different from a regular dime. In some cases, the doubling can be subtle, with only a slight overlap of the design elements. In other cases, the doubling is much more pronounced, making the error coin much more valuable. To determine if your 2005 dime is truly an error coin, you can also check the condition of the coin. While the double strike error is the most important feature, the condition of the coin will play a significant role in its overall value. Coins that are in excellent condition, with minimal wear and no signs of damage, will command a higher price than those that are scratched, worn, or damaged in any way. If you think you found one of these rare dimes, it's worth getting it professionally graded to determine its value. So, how can you get your hands on one of these coveted 2005 double strike dimes? It's not easy, but it's not impossible either. Some collectors find them through careful searching, while others purchase rolls of dimes from the bank in the hopes of finding a rare error coin. If you're serious about adding one of these dimes to your collection, you may also consider attending coin shows or browsing through online coin auctions, where these error coins are sometimes sold. The story of the 2005 USA 1 dime coin is a reminder of just how much value can be hidden in plain sight. What may seem like an ordinary, everyday coin is actually a piece of history, with stories and mysteries of its own. In the world of numismatics, coins are not just objects of currency, they are also fascinating artifacts, full of surprises and hidden treasures. The 2005 double strike dime may be rare, but it's far from the only coin in history with a remarkable story to tell. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone just starting to explore the world of numismatics, the 2005 double strike dime serves as a perfect example of why coins are so much more than just money. They are pieces of art, pieces of history, and sometimes, pieces of great fortune. If you ever come across a 2005 dime in your spare change, take a closer look. You never know, it might just be worth more than you think. The top 3. In the vast world of numismatics, there are certain coins that, at first glance, might seem ordinary, even mundane. But hidden beneath their seemingly simple exteriors are stories of historical significance, unexpected errors, and, in some cases, incredible value. The 1981 USA 1 dime coin is one such coin. At first glance, it may appear to be just another 10-cent piece, but to collectors, the 1981 dime represents much more. The coin holds a fascinating tale of its creation, the circumstances surrounding its minting, and the eventual errors that transformed it into a sought-after treasure. To understand why the 1981 dime became a prized collectible, we must first step back and take a closer look at the historical context of the early 1980s. The year 1981 marked a significant time in the United States, both politically and economically. The country was just entering a new era under President Ronald Reagan, who had assumed office earlier that year. Reagan's administration would go on to reshape much of the country's policies, from economics to foreign relations. Domestically, the United States was facing a host of challenges, including high inflation, rising unemployment, and a struggling economy. The early 1980s were a time of transition, as the country tried to recover from the economic malaise of the 1970s. In the world of coinage, the 1981 dime continued the long-standing tradition of the Roosevelt dime, which had been in circulation since 1946. The dime, a 10-cent coin, was one of the most commonly used denominations in the United States, and its design had become iconic. The obverse of the coin, featuring the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, was created by the talented sculptor John R. Sinek. Roosevelt, who had served as president from 1933 to 1945, was an immensely popular figure in American history, known for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The design on the reverse side of the dime featured a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. These elements were meant to evoke the values that Roosevelt held dear and to remind the American people of the ideals for which he stood. The design of the 1981 dime was, in many ways, no different from the dimes produced in previous years. However, the year 1981 was unique in that it marked a period of transition in U.S. coinage, particularly with the materials used in coin production. The early 1980s saw the introduction of new alloys in the making of coins, a response to rising metal prices. The cost of copper and silver, two key components in coinage, had skyrocketed in recent years, forcing the U.S. Mint to consider alternative materials that could help reduce production costs while still maintaining the integrity of American coinage. While these changes would affect many coins produced during this period, the 1981 dime was still made primarily of a copper-nickel clad composition. Just like the dimes that came before it, the minting process for the 1981 dime was, as always, carried out by the U.S. Mint at its various facilities. The Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint were the primary producers of dimes in 1981, with coins being struck at both locations. However, as is often the case with mass production, even small discrepancies and errors can occur. It was during the minting process of the 1981 dime that an unexpected issue arose, one that would ultimately make this coin so valuable to collectors. One of the most notable factors that would later contribute to the 1981 dime's appeal was the presence of a unique error in a small batch of coins. This error, which was not immediately noticed, would go on to become one of the most sought-after and valuable mistakes in numismatic history. The error in question is referred to as the clad layer separation or struck-through error. This error occurred when the coin was struck during the minting process, causing a separation of the copper-nickel clad layers on the surface of the coin. This resulted in a coin with visible imperfections, such as uneven surfaces and areas where the clad layers seemed to be missing or misaligned. While such errors were not unheard of in coin production, the 1981 dime stood out because of the way these imperfections were distributed across the coin's surface. At first, these coins were largely ignored by the general public, and the error went unnoticed by most. However, as time passed and collectors began to examine coins from this period more closely, they started to notice the oddities in some of the 1981 dimes. The striations, misaligned layers, and unusual surfaces quickly caught the attention of numismatists. It wasn't long before word spread that these coins were not only rare but also highly valuable due to their error. What had once been seen as a minor imperfection quickly became a symbol of rarity and sought-after uniqueness in the world of coin collecting. The collector appeal of the 1981 dime grew steadily over the years as more individuals began to seek out these rare error coins. The rarity of these dimes, coupled with the fact that they were produced in relatively small numbers, made them incredibly desirable to collectors who were interested in building sets of rare and unusual coins. As with many rare coins, the value of the 1981 dime increased with time, as demand outstripped supply. The excitement surrounding these dimes reached its peak when, in a landmark auction, a particularly well-preserved example of the 1981 clad layer separation dime sold for an astonishing $101,000. The impressive value of this coin was not just a reflection of its rarity but also its condition. Coins that have survived in excellent condition, without excessive wear, scratches, or other forms of damage, are always worth more to collectors. For this particular 1981 dime, its pristine condition combined with its rare error made it an especially coveted piece in the world of numismatics. The auction for this coin, which set the record for the highest price ever paid for a 1981 error dime, created a buzz in the coin collecting community and cemented the 1981 dime's place in numismatic history. So, what makes the 1981 error dime so valuable? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and the uniqueness of the minting error. While the vast majority of 1981 dimes are worth only 10 cents, the few that were struck with the clad layer separation error have become highly prized by collectors. These error coins are much rarer than the standard 1981 dimes, and as such, they are valued at many times their face value. Collectors who specialize in error coins and those seeking to add a rare and unique piece to their collection are willing to pay top dollar for these elusive dimes. In terms of identifying a 1981 error dime, it's not always immediately obvious. The key feature to look for is the separation or misalignment of the copper-nickel clad layers. This can be most easily identified by examining the coin's surface under magnification. In some cases, the error may be subtle, with only slight imperfections in the metal. In other cases, the separation is much more pronounced, with significant areas of the coin's surface appearing flawed or uneven. If you believe you found one of these rare error coins, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded and authenticated by a numismatist to determine its true value. Finding a 1981 error dime in your pocket change is, of course, highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some collectors have reported finding these rare coins in rolls of dimes purchased from banks or through online auctions. If you're serious about adding one of these dimes to your collection, you may want to consider attending coin shows, browsing online marketplaces, or reaching out to dealers who specialize in error coins. The 1981 USA 1 dime coin is a perfect example of how a small mistake in the minting process can create a valuable and sought-after piece of history. What was once considered a simple, everyday coin is now a prized collectible worth thousands of dollars, thanks to the combination of a minting error and the passage of time. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, the story of the 1981 error dime is a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones we least expect to find. As you continue to explore the world of coin collecting, remember that each coin has its own story to tell. Even the most seemingly ordinary coins can hold hidden treasures, waiting to be discovered by those with a passion for history, art, and the unpredictable world of numismatics. The 1981 USA 1 dime coin, with its fascinating error and impressive value, serves as a testament to the excitement and intrigue that the world of coin collecting has to offer. Whether you're hunting for rare coins in your own collection or browsing through stacks of dimes at a local coin show, keep an eye out. You never know when you might come across the next big discovery. The top 4 is the 1974 USA 1 dime coin is a perfect example of a seemingly unremarkable piece of currency that, with time and careful attention, has evolved into a rare and sought-after collectible. At first glance, this coin may appear to be just another 10-cent piece, lost in the shuffle of everyday change. But behind its simple exterior is a fascinating history, a distinctive design, and an intriguing collector's market that's helped propel it to an impressive value. To truly understand what makes the 1974 dime so special, we need to take a step back in time. The early 1970s were a period of significant change in the United States. The country was in the midst of shifting political, social, and economic landscapes. The Vietnam War was winding down, with the U.S. finally pulling out of the conflict in 1973, and the country was reeling from the Watergate scandal, which would culminate in the resignation of President Richard Nixon in 1974. Economically, the country was also grappling with stagflation, high inflation coupled with high unemployment, leading to a period of economic uncertainty. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins for circulation, including the familiar 1 dime, which had been in circulation for decades. The design of the dime, featuring the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, was not new in 1974. In fact, it had been in use since 1946, when the coin was first introduced following Roosevelt's death. This design, created by sculptor John R. Sinnock, became iconic over time. Roosevelt, who served as the 32nd President of the United States, was depicted facing left in a profile that conveyed strength, determination, and wisdom. The reverse of the coin depicted a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, which symbolized liberty, peace, and strength, values that Roosevelt upheld throughout his presidency. This design remained unchanged through the years, making the 1974 dime part of a long-standing tradition of U.S. coinage. However, the 1974 dime was also a coin produced during a period of change in the U.S. Mint's coinage production process. In 1965, the U.S. Mint had switched to using a copper-nickel-clad composition for its dimes, rather than the silver content that had previously been used. This shift was part of an effort to reduce the cost of producing coins during a time when the price of silver had risen sharply. While this change didn't impact the design of the dime, it did alter its physical properties. The 1974 dime, like those from the years before it, was primarily made of copper and nickel, with the same familiar dimensions, 17.91 mm in diameter and weighing 2.268 grams. At first, the 1974 dime seemed like just another typical coin, stamped and distributed into circulation alongside millions of others. But as with all coins, time would reveal its secrets. While most 1974 dimes circulated without incident, there were certain factors that would elevate this coin in the eyes of collectors. One of the main driving forces behind the 1974 dime's appeal came from a rare error that occurred during its minting. The error in question is known as the double die error, which occurs when a coin is struck more than once with the design being slightly misaligned on each strike. In the case of the 1974 dime, the double die error led to the creation of a small batch of coins with noticeable doubling of the inscriptions and features on the obverse side of the coin. This included the word Liberty, the year 1974, and even part of Roosevelt's profile. The doubling was not always easy to spot, but collectors with a trained eye began to notice the subtle differences in the design, and soon enough, word began to spread about this rare find. The discovery of these error coins led to a frenzy among collectors. Double die errors, while not unheard of, are rare enough to be considered a major find in the numismatic world. As is often the case with such errors, the rarer the mistake, the more valuable the coin becomes. And for those who were able to find these 1974 dimes, it wasn't just their rarity that made them special, it was also the exceptional condition in which many of these coins had survived. To collectors, condition is everything. A coin's grade, which refers to its level of wear and the clarity of its design, plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved and remain close to their original mint state are often worth significantly more than those that show signs of wear, scratches, or damage. For the 1974 double die dimes, coins that were in mint or near mint condition could fetch several $100s at auction. But the real surprise came when one particularly well-preserved 1974 double die dime, graded MS-67 by a professional grading service, was sold at auction for an eye-popping $111,800. The coin, which had survived decades in pristine condition, quickly became the star of the show in the world of coin collecting. Its impressive value was driven by a combination of factors: its rarity due to the minting error, the excellent condition in which it had been preserved, and the growing interest from collectors. This sale turned the 1974 dime from an overlooked piece of currency into a sought-after treasure, and its value skyrocketed in the years that followed. The story of the 1974 USA 1-dime coin is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting can transform an ordinary item into something extraordinary. What was once a simple 10-cent piece is now a highly coveted collectible worth thousands of times its face value. The double die error, though small in scope, has had a lasting impact on the numismatic market, and the 1974 dime now holds a prominent place in the annals of coin history. So, how can you tell if you found one of these rare 1974 double die dimes? It can be a bit tricky, but there are a few key features to look for. First and foremost, you'll want to carefully examine the obverse of the coin, particularly the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you notice that the letters appear to be slightly doubled, with a shadow of the letters visible next to the primary ones, it could be an indication of a double die error. Additionally, check the date, 1974, for any signs of doubling, as this is one of the most common places where the error appears. Roosevelt's profile may also show some subtle signs of doubling, though this can be more difficult to detect with the naked eye. If you believe you found a 1974 double die dime, the next step is to have it professionally graded. The grading process involves evaluating the coin's condition, its level of detail, and its overall appearance. Coins that are graded higher, such as MS 67 or MS 68, will command higher prices at auction, while coins in lower grades may be worth considerably less. Professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are trusted authorities in the field and can provide an accurate assessment of the coin's value. While finding a 1974 double die dime in your pocket change is a rare stroke of luck, it's not impossible. Some collectors have managed to find these error coins in rolls of dimes purchased from banks or even in change from everyday transactions. For those who want to add one to their collection, purchasing coins from reputable dealers or attending coin shows can also increase the chances of finding a rare 1974 dime. The 1974 USA 1-dime coin is a prime example of the unpredictable nature of coin collecting. It's a coin that, at first glance, might seem unremarkable, yet it holds the potential for a significant financial reward for those who are lucky enough to find an error coin in excellent condition. The story of the 1974 double die dime is a testament to the excitement and thrill of numismatics, how something as simple as a small mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a rare and valuable treasure. In the world of coin collecting, it's not always the most obvious or the most expensive coins that hold the most value. Sometimes, it's the hidden gems, the overlooked pieces of history, that end up being the most prized. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, the 1974 dime serves as a reminder that there's always more to discover beneath the surface. With a bit of knowledge, a keen eye, and a little bit of luck, you might just find the next big treasure waiting in your pocket change. The top 5. The world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, with some coins becoming far more valuable over time than anyone could have imagined. One such coin is the 2007 USA 1 dime, a seemingly ordinary 10-cent piece that, when examined in detail, tells a unique story. This particular coin, part of the iconic Roosevelt dime series, might have passed unnoticed by many as just another coin in circulation, but for the seasoned collector or numismatist, it holds a fascinating narrative, one that revolves around its design, minting, a rare error, and its surprising market value today. The story of the 2007 dime begins in the context of the economic landscape and political climate of the early 21st century in the United States. By 2007, the U.S. had experienced a period of economic growth following the early 2000s recession, although cracks were beginning to form beneath the surface. The housing bubble was beginning to inflate, and signs of the global financial crisis of 2008 were already starting to emerge. Despite these brewing challenges, life in America seemed to move forward in a relatively normal fashion. The country was experiencing a steady recovery, but there was an underlying sense of uncertainty. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was continuing its job of producing the nation's coins, including the 1 dime. The dime, which had featured the profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse since 1946, had long been an essential part of American currency. The dime's design, crafted by artist John R. Sinnock, honored Roosevelt's legacy as the 32nd President of the United States, a leader who had guided the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design remained one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage, and the 2007 dime was no exception. The obverse of the coin depicted Roosevelt's portrait in profile, with the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," above the image, and the year of minting below. The reverse side featured the familiar torch, olive branch, and oak branch arrangement, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The design of the 2007 dime was nearly identical to that of previous years, with only slight variations in the coin's production process and its minting location. The 2007 dime, like most modern coins, was struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition. In this case, the coin was made up of a core of pure copper, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The dimensions of the coin were consistent with those of other dimes produced in recent decades. It had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a weight of 2.268 grams. These specifications were part of the U.S. Mint's ongoing effort to maintain consistency in its coinage, making sure that each coin produced was easily recognizable and capable of circulating widely. Despite its outward similarity to the dimes of previous years, the 2007 coin would soon become the subject of heightened attention from collectors. As with many coins, it was not the design itself but rather certain subtle details and, in some cases, errors in minting that would propel the 2007 dime into the spotlight. The years leading up to 2007 had been a time of transition for the U.S. Mint, and the mass production of coins during this time meant that mistakes, however small, were bound to occur. These errors often go unnoticed in everyday circulation, but for collectors with a keen eye, they can represent a valuable opportunity. One of the most sought-after features of the 2007 dime, which made it stand out in the world of coin collecting, was an error known as the wrong planchet error. This error occurs when a coin is struck using the wrong type of metal or alloy, resulting in a coin that looks significantly different from others in the same series. For the 2007 dime, the error involved the use of a planchet intended for another denomination, such as the penny or quarter. The result was a dime that appeared with a slightly off-color tint or a different weight, leading collectors to take notice. The wrong planchet error is not one that happens frequently, but when it does, the rarity and uniqueness of the coin immediately elevate its value. In the case of the 2007 dime, the wrong planchet error was relatively rare, and the number of dimes struck on incorrect planchets was limited. Over time, as numismatists began to identify these coins and examine them closely, the 2007 wrong planchet dimes became one of the most coveted varieties in the Roosevelt dime series. Collectors often seek out such error coins because they represent a mistake in the production process, something that was never intended by the mint. These coins, once discovered, have the potential to become valuable and highly sought after due to their scarcity and unique nature. The allure of these coins is part of what makes the hobby of numismatics so exciting. What might seem like a simple mistake can, in fact, become a rare and valuable treasure. The value of the 2007 wrong planchet dime gradually began to rise as collectors searched for these rare pieces. While most 2007 dimes remained worth only their face value of 10 cents, those that had been struck on incorrect planchets found their way into the hands of collectors who recognized their significance. Over time, the demand for these error coins increased, particularly as more collectors learned about their existence. In addition to the wrong planchet error, another factor that contributed to the 2007 dime's collector appeal was its condition. Coins that have been preserved in excellent condition, free of scratches, nicks, or heavy wear, are always more valuable than those that show signs of circulation. Coins that are graded as mint state or proof-like are especially prized in the numismatic world. As with any rare coin, condition plays a major role in determining its value. The better the condition of the coin, the higher the price it can command at auction. In 2018, a particularly well-preserved example of a 2007 wrong planchet dime, graded MS-68 by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, was sold at a prestigious auction for an astonishing $74,000. This record-breaking sale was a testament to the demand for this unique era coin and demonstrated how much the market for rare dimes had grown in recent years. The 2007 wrong planchet dime had evolved from being a simple piece of currency to a rare and valuable collectible. Why did this specific coin attract such a high price? The answer lies in the combination of factors: the rarity of the wrong planchet error, the coin's exceptional condition, and the growing interest in collecting error coins. While there are other coins from the 2007 series, the error versions are a standout due to the story behind their creation. The wrong planchet error, in particular, is one of the most sought-after mistakes in recent coin production history, making it an exciting find for collectors. For those interested in acquiring a 2007 dime with a wrong planchet error, the first step is identifying the characteristics that distinguish it from a standard coin. The primary clue is the color and weight. Coins struck on incorrect planchets often appear slightly different in color compared to the rest of the series, with some displaying a brighter or duller finish. Additionally, these coins may feel slightly heavier or lighter than the typical dime, due to the different metals used in the wrong planchet. While these differences might be subtle, they can be spotted with close inspection and careful weighing of the coin. Once you have identified a potential 2007 wrong planchet dime, the next step is to have it graded by a professional service. Grading is a crucial part of determining a coin's value, and collectors typically rely on third-party grading services like NGC or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, to assess the condition of a coin. Grading is a subjective process that takes into account the coin's wear, appearance, and other factors, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins in near-perfect condition, such as those graded MS-67 or MS-68, are the most valuable and will likely fetch the highest prices at auction. The 2007 USA 1 dime coin is a fascinating example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can evolve into a rare and valuable collectible. What might have once been dismissed as a simple 10-cent piece is now a coveted treasure among coin collectors, thanks to its unique error and rarity. As with many coins in the numismatic world, the 2007 dime's journey from circulation to collector's item is a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin collecting. In the end, it's a reminder that in the world of numismatics, sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones that we least expect to find. For collectors, the world of coins offers endless possibilities for discovery. Whether you're hunting for rare error coins or simply appreciating the artistry and history behind each piece of currency, there's always something new to learn. And, for those with a keen eye and a passion for the hobby, a coin like the 2007 USA 1 dime could very well turn out to be more than just another dime. It could be the next big find.